I'm Swagadelic, and today we're going over sy'fen comp and everything you need to know. We'll be going over what to do in the early, middle, and late game, what units to hold items for transitions, what augments to look for, when to roll down, how to position well, how to secure top 4. Start by looking for strong early units to hold items. Nidalee or Set, Olaf, and Diana all work well. Here's what the board could look like in the early game. Keep in mind you can swap Diana out for any item holder, and your main goal is to get bruisers. If you get a strong early start, go for level 4 at 2-1 and try to hot streak all of stage 2. If you don't think you can hot streak the whole stage, then go for a lost streak instead and try to kill a few units every round to save HP. Goal is to maximize econ, but if you have to spend a few gold to maintain a hot streak, then it's okay to do it. Here are early comp variations for Set and Nidalee. Notice Set is strong in all choices. You can use another bruiser until you find him, but he is crucial, so be on the lookout. The main goal of the mid game is to save as much gold and health as possible. That's pretty much it. As long as you don't lose too much health, you should be in a good spot. Once you hit level 8, it's time to roll down. I like to time my roll downs with Dragon Shrine so I have as much time as possible to make decisions. The main units to look for are sy'fen 2, Ornn 2, Sylas 2, and hopefully a lucky Pyke 1. If you don't find Pyke, then Elise and Nico provide solid frontline plus damage. Now that we're moving into the late game, we want to constantly be scouting enemy boards. We should line up sy'fen on the same side as enemy backline carries. We want her to dash to one of them and one-shot. We should also have Thresh on the opposite side to the enemy carry so that he can hook and damage them. Pyke and Qiyana should be jumping towards them as well. Finally, you want Shen next to sy'fen at all times so that sy'fen can avoid any auto-based damage at all possible. For sy'fen, his best in slot items are Titan's Resolve and Hand of Justice. Other strong options include Giant Slayer, Ginsu's, and Bloodthirster. The key is to have Titans with one healing item and one damage item. You should always try to go for Titan's Resolve and Hand of Justice, but your third item can change depending on the augments you choose. For tank items, you should always be scouting as to whether Bramble Vest or Dragon's Claw will provide more value. Ormogs on Ornn allows for more CC casts. Redemption is highly useful since most of your comp will be in melee, which means they'll all be grouped for healing and benefit from the AoE damage reduction at the same time. For damage item holders, your transitions might look something like this. Nidalee and Set in the early game, into Olaf or Diana in the mid game, finally into sy'fen when you find him. For tank item holders, it may look something like this. Tahm Kench and Skarner in the early game, Alawi in the mid game, into Ornn in the late game. This way, the items are effective at all stages of the game, and you don't slam them onto permanent units like Shen. For more guides like this, you have to sub to my channel, or else you'll miss out on crucial comp guides and meta updates. Now we'll be going over augment options. The augments you take greatly affect how you play other parts of the game. Rich Get Richer is excellent on 2-1 to build econ fast, but keep in mind if you take this, you're opting into lose streak since you won't have a combat augment to compete with other early boards. Windfall is only acceptable in the late game if you are close to 8 and are desperate for gold to find your units. Titanic Strength and Personal Training are great scaling options for bruiser only comps. They provide high late game value. Cybernetic augments are great when you high roll tons of items. If you don't get tons of items, it's best to stay away from these options. When playing Ascension, focus heavily on tank and healing items. Since you get a big damage boost, your main goal is to play around defensive survival items. Second Wind, Celestial, and Thrill are all great healing options, especially Second Wind since it scales with HP and synergizes well with bruisers. Best Friends can be powerful when combined with Zeke's Herald. In this scenario, you should skip Ginsu's altogether and pick up a Giant Slayer or Edge of Night. High-end shopping is only good late game if you can afford to fast 9. For a better chance at Pyke 2, Soraka 2, or Bard 2, this is a high roll augment and only playable if you snowballed hard. Once you hit your units, top 4 is almost secured as long as you chose good augments. Look for Pyke 2 and throw in Bard, Soraka, or Yasuo for strong support. A blue buff would go a long way on any of those support units. Here's what level 9 comps might look like. It's okay to drop down to 4 Whisper and replace some units with legendary 2-stars. In the J3 variation, Nico should copy the tank stats, but she can't copy HP, so keep that in mind. In 8 Whispers, you can also use Talon over Qiyana, but I prefer Tempest 2 over Guild 1. In the Guild variation, Sejuani can be subbed for another Guild unit, but I like the frontline body, and the HP bonus synergizes with Bruiser augments. In 4 Bruiser endgame, you can use an Emblem for 6 Whisper. What's your favorite endgame variation? Let me know in the comments down below. If this guide helped you, then leave a like and don't forget to sub so you're always up to date with the newest TFT meta. Till next time.